Warning, the following video contains errors committed by a trained unprofessional. These errors were supervised by a 7-year-old. Do not attempt these errors in your own games or you will be mocked and ridiculed. All errors are corrected by the end of the video. Welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. This is
Luke Smith.
And we're back to continue our Super Dungeon Explorer playthrough, but Andrea isn't, and neither are those pesky gloves. So Luke is here to fill in and take control of the heroes. And you guys, normally you would submit to us what you want to do for your player move, and we would take the top-rated suggestion. But for this submission, we're actually putting together two different people's suggestions. Most of it's coming from Neko CLFL, who sent us a video submission for the move. You can check that out on our last playthrough episode. It's posted there. Quick suggestion, though, if you do post a video response for us, which we think is great, make sure you put a summary of what it is written as a YouTube comment in our video. That way people can see it there and vote for it, because there's no real easy way to vote for the actual video submissions. Now, we also got another submission that actually got the most votes, and that came from RYZX4922. Sorry we're not going with the bulk of your move, even though you got the most votes. Just wanted to honor the work that Neko CLFL had done in putting his submission together. But we are going to use your recommendation for where to assign the loot that was picked up in the last episode. But moving forward, we'll definitely try to always pick the most popularly voted for suggestion. Am I being copied over here?
No.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to get on the table here and pick up where we left off. So the first thing that Neko wants to do is spend a potion on the Paladin to remove his fire status effect. And then he wants to spend 3 potions from Andy and Cola to activate
Sugar Rush.
And he wants to target the Druid with that Sugar Rush, giving the Druid an additional 2 action points. Next, he wants to move the Druid 5 spaces.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And now for the attack. The Deep-Root Druid is going to attack this Wormling here. Now, you might think that the Wormling is hidden behind this pillar, and I wish he was, but the way line of sight works is if you can draw a straight line from any corner where the attack is coming from to any corner of the square where the attack is going to, then you have line of sight. And that line from this corner to this corner isn't blocked by anything. So the Deep-Root Druid can attack the Wormling. And this attack is a burst 1, which means it's not just going to potentially hit the Wormling, but also any other monster within one of it. So Luke, go ahead and roll a blue and a red dice. This is a magic attack. Oh my gosh. That's a good roll, Luke. That is 3 stars. The Wormling has 1 star defense, which means it definitely got hit. So it's going to take 1 wound. It has 2 life, so that doesn't kill it. The Whelp here has 1 life and an armor of 1. So that one got destroyed. So I'm going to remove that from the board. And the Gouger has an impressive armor of 0.
He's a weakling.
Yes, he is. So he's definitely removed from play as well. And with 3 hits, that means the power gauge is going to advance 3 spaces, giving me another skull token. And the lootometer is going to move 3 more spaces, giving you guys another loot card.
I'm getting my loot.
All right, what is your loot?
Glass hammer.
What does it do?
+1 blue dice armor.
Okay. And it has
Fragile
effect. Now this is bad for me. Whichever hero has this, if it hits one of my monster and causes it a wound, it will get the fragile effect. And then anytime that monster rolls for armor, you guys can make that monster discard the highest die result rolled. Which is pretty bad. Now, do you know who you want to equip this to? You do. Who do you want to give it to?
The Deep-Root Druid.
Okay. And if that wasn't enough, we can't forget that the Stranglethorn's ability is that it also puts slow on any target that it wounds, so we're going to have to put the slow token on. And the Deep-Root Druid has the poison ability all the time, so I also have to put a poison counter on the Wormling. And then you guys are going to shape-shift your druid into Angry Bear. Now, we painted Angry Bear kind of a yellow color. A lot of times he's painted white, but Andrew and I both think that he looks a little bit like Winnie the Pooh now. So sometimes we call him Winnie. Well, listen, now it's time for this bear to attack. And so it gets to attack with 2 red dice. So go ahead, Luke, and roll it up. And there we have 2 stars and a potion. Since my hatchling has 0 armor, that's going to be an automatic hit, and you get to collect a potion.
And I'm going to put the potion on the Royal Paladin. Paladin.
So 1 wound is going on the hatchlings, but it's not going to be enough to kill it. And Angry Bear doesn't have the poison ability. It's just immune to poison, so no poison counter gets added there. And with its last remaining action, it's going to attack again. Go ahead, Luke, roll it up. 3 stars this time. This is ridiculous. Okay.
1 more.
So that's definitely a hit, and that's going to remove the hatchlings from play. And that means the power gauge is going to move 2 more spaces, and the ludometer is also going to move 2 more spaces. So then we have 2 movement points, so Winnie is going to move back 1. Now remember here, these hallways don't take up any space. So technically speaking, this model is here and here already. So I'll just shift it back to this space here. We're going to move back 1 and then over 1 like that. So now I get to activate my 3 remaining models, which are the 2 knuckleheads here and the dragon priest. And the first one I'm going to activate is my dragon priest, and I'm going to activate his special ability called Dragon Rage. This gives him an augment aura 3, and all kobolds gain a +1 blue die to their attacks. So there's going to be an aura around him of 3 spaces as he moves. Any kobolds within those spaces get a +1 blue die to their attacks. And he's going to move in like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to stop there on 4. And then he's also going to activate his Shadow Breath, which is another augment, so it only affects friendly models, aura of 5, so any spaces within 5 of him. Now all kobolds will gain stealth, which will make kobolds hard to hit when they're targeted with ranged effects.
Oh, great.
And then I'm going to move this knucklehead here 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's now adjacent to Angry Bear, and it's going to attack. So my knucklehead gets 3 blue dice to attack with, plus an additional blue dice from the Dragon Priest's Dragon Rage. And I rolled 3 stars. And then Luke's going to get to roll 2 red dice for defense. And it's only 1 star. That means I hit. So 1 wound is going on Angry Bear.
Wait, Dad, we've got the glass hammer.
Good point, Luke. I almost forgot. When the druid shapeshifted, all of the equipment that it was carrying gets transferred to the Angry Bear. So he would have the glass hammer, giving you an additional blue die. So go ahead, Luke, and roll that blue die. Let's see what you get. And it's 1 star. Not quite enough. And then my last activation is this model here. And I'm going to move it 7. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm a little bit nervous about getting them too close together because of that Stranglethorn burst attack. And so that 1 hit means the power gauge is going to advance 1 space, but because it was a wound from an enemy, the ludometer does not advance. And you guys have a rune of defense that you need to equip. And Ryix's 4922 wanted us to equip it to who, Luke?
The Royal Paladin.
Paladin.
Paladin!
That's right, you got it. And that's going to give, what was that? A +1 blue armor. Now, because it's the end of the round, we have to reset the ludometer back to the start of the track. We are just 1 square away from the 16-bit level, which means I'll be able to bring out Rex.
Don't forget Winnie.
Yes, you guys do have Winnie. All right, so let's roll for initiative, and we can start the next round. Now, before we get started in the second round,
My dad placed some skeleton tokens on the board because the what ability? Breath?
the Shadow Breath ability that was cast by the Dragon Priest, I'm a little bit concerned that I might forget that effect is in play, so I put some tokens on the board to help me remember. Now, I don't have enough tokens to put them by all of the monsters, but if you were playing at home, you probably wouldn't forget because you wouldn't be trying to record an episode for Watch It Played while you're playing. But now I get to spawn some more monsters. So the first thing I'm going to spawn in is 2 flingers. They're worth 1 skull each. You guys haven't seen those in play yet. And I can still put another 2 skulls worth of monsters out. So I'm going to put 1 gouger there and 1 gouger there.
Oh man, I think we're going to be beat up here.
Oh, Luke, it's getting worse. I'm also bringing out a wormling, some hatchlings, and a whelp. And that's 4 skulls worth of monsters there. And then finally, using the 2 skull tokens that I collected from the last round, I'm going to bring out this iron scale. I'd like to put him over here, but there's no space. So he's going to have to go back here at the other spawn point.
What?
Yep, Luke, that is a lot of monsters.
Well, at least our guys are tough and don't have 1 or 2 life like your guys.
That's true. My guys are a little squishier. And now we can roll for initiative. I'm rolling 3 blue dice, and I got 4 stars. Luke, go ahead. Only 1 star. Monsters go first. So the first model I'm going to activate is this knucklehead here. He's going to go 1 space like this. And again, don't be deceived by these arrows. He's actually adjacent right now to Angry Bear. And he is within 3. So he's affected by the Dragon Rage aura. So he's going to be able to roll 4 dice. Because he also has the mob ability here. Because he's attacking next to another kobold. And I get 3 stars. What are you laughing for? 3 stars.
Well, you got 4 of them and you only got 3 in total.
Okay, well, let's see what you roll. Nothing. That's what you get.
Okay.
So that is 1 wound on Angry Bear. And with that hit, I can move the power gauge forward, and we are now at 16-bit. Now, the effects of 16-bit won't happen until the end of the round, which means it won't be until the next episode. And with my remaining moves, I'm going to move this knucklehead forward a couple more spaces. Now, I realize it's putting him closer to the enemy, but honestly, these guys can get to him pretty easily anyway. This will give me a little more room to perhaps bring some more kobolds in later and use that mob ability. I'm going to turn him around too, just to show that he's been activated already. Next, I'm going to be moving my gouger. Now, I believe it's legal to move from this space to this space because these spots are adjacent, even though there's a wall here and there's a wall here. But even if it wasn't legal, I'd be able to move around and still have enough space because all I'm trying to do is get to here. Because the gouger actually has a reach of 2, and remember, models don't block line of sight. So this will allow him to reach through and hit here. And now that he's in melee, that's right, melee, with 2 other kobolds, he's going to get an additional die. So he's going to be rolling 5 dice this time. So Luke, you hold on to those. Here's what you got to beat. 4 stars. Let's see if you can do it. Oh, I'm afraid not.
So much for Lucky Luke with his dice.
Gonna have to get those gloves for you.
Oh, yeah.
And that means another wound for Angry Bear. And the power gauge moves forward 1 more space. And I'll just move my gouger over here 1 more space. And now the other skull I'm going to activate will be this gouger back here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, whoa, 4, 5, like that. And now he's going to do the same attack again. And that means I'm going to be able to roll 6 blue dice now because we have 3 other kobolds also in melee. Now, keep in mind, I can only get a maximum of +3 blue dice off of the mob ability. So this is as many as I'm going to be able to roll for any of my attacks. And here's what I get. Okay, 2 stars, not so great. Go ahead, Luke, let's see if you can do better.
Yeah!
3 stars. So that attack was not successful. All right, I'm going to turn these guys around to help me remember that they've been activated. And now I'm going to attack with this guy here, my other knucklehead. And he'll also have 6 dice to roll. See if I can do a little better. That's quite a bit better. That's 5 stars.
5? I have to get... Both of these have to be free.
Oh, no! I'm afraid not. And actually, you only need to get 5, but even that would have been hard to get. And that's 4 skulls worth, so my turn is over, and it's time for the heroes to act.
First thing I'm going to do is use my elixir. I can pay 1 potion to heal free, and I'm going to give it to Angry Birds? No, Angry Bear!
That's a totally different game. Yeah, so you're going to use the potion from the Royal Paladin to heal Angry Bear.
I'm going to use my Royal Paladin.
That's right.
Finally. And I'm going to move him 1 space and attack.
You going to attack my knucklehead?
Yeah.
My knucklehead has only 1 star for defense. And Luke, what do you get to attack with?
4 blue dice.
All right, let's see what you get. Oh, just enough.
What?
And my knucklehead has only 1 heart, so that removes it from play.
Yes.
And so the power gauge and the ludometer advances by 1.
I'm going to move 3 more spaces and attack another knucklehead.
Okay, well, go ahead and roll those dice again then, Luke. Okay, 2 stars. And that's a hit. And normally, Luke, you'd be able to heal 2 wounds because of those hearts, but you have no wounds.
Oh.
But the knucklehead is gone.
I'm going to move 1 more space and attack the gouger. Let's see what I get.
Wow. Oh, man. The luck is back, Luke.
The luck is back.
So that gouger is also removed from play.
Yes.
So with those 2 kills, the power gauge and the ludometer move 2 more spaces.
It's looting time.
Okay, what'd you get for loot?
Rune of the Sage.
Oh, and it gives you a +1 to your will. Now, this is not a die, it's just an automatic +1. Now, do you know where you want to put that?
I'll put it...
What uses will here? Not
The...
that I really want to help out, but honestly, I think it's going to be only the Deep Root Druid who uses the magic attack. So probably giving will there is the right idea. And because I passed a skull on the power gauge, I get to take a skull token. And we all got something. All right, back to the board. Now, before I activate some more monsters, I realize I made a small mistake, but thankfully it hasn't affected gameplay. The effects of the magic produced by the Dragon Priest only affect kobold monsters, so these wormlings and hatchlings, they wouldn't get the benefit of these extra attack dice and the stealth. So I'm glad I caught that before we got too much further. So the first monster that I'm going to activate is my Flinger here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, and he's going to use his Hot Pot attack to attack the Paladin. Now he has a missile attack with a range of 6 that uses his dexterity, so that is a red and a blue die. But when he uses Hot Pot, he gets an additional blue die for dexterity, and if he hits, he sets the target on fire. So let's see what I roll. Okay, only 1 star, not very good, but it might be enough. Go ahead and roll your defense, Luke.
Yes!
Ah, 2 stars. So no wound and no fire. But I will move him 1 more space. And now I'm going to bring out my other Flinger, and this time I'm going to actually attack Angry Bear, because Angry Bear hasn't activated, so if I can set him on fire, then when he activates, he'll get a wound right away. So once again, I'm using Hot Pot, and I got 2 stars. So go ahead, Luke, you can roll 2. Ah, 2 stars!
Yes.
So no damage from that Flinger either. So now I'm going to bring my Whelp over right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he is going to attack the Paladin. And he gets 2 blue and a red. Wow, 4 stars.
I can beat that.
All right, we'll see if you can beat it. Not today. You can't beat it. Now, the nice thing about the Whelp is when he makes a successful attack, he also knocks the model down. So the Paladin will take a wound and receive the knockdown status effect. And the power gauge will go up by 1. And then for my last skull, I'm going to activate this Gouger back here. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right in here, behind the Whelp, and going to attack the Paladin again. So the Gouger normally gets 2 blue dice, gets an additional die for being within the range of the Dragon Priest, and an additional die for also being in melee with another kobold. So I'm going to roll 4 blue dice, and I receive 3 stars. Now let's see what Luke gets. 1 star. Another hit. And the power gauge goes up 1 more time. Now, as you saw at the beginning of this episode, there was a warning for some small errors that happened. I really apologize for that. I hope it did not distract you too much from the gameplay. Thankfully, one of the errors, the one where I wasn't rolling enough dice for the kobolds, didn't really matter because the one chance where I could have potentially hit him, Luke rolled enough hearts later in the game, it would have healed those wounds anyway. But I did forget to move the power gauge 1 space, so I'll do that now. Now, normally it would be time for Candy and Cola to act, and then some more monsters, and then you guys. But we're already at around the 20-minute mark, so I think we'll stop it here. And then you'll have a chance to look over what you think Candy and Cola should do. And you can offer that as a suggestion to Andrea, who will be back for the next episode that we'll shoot very soon. It'll be a nice short episode. We'll end that one and then allow you guys to decide what you want to do for the player move. So thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.